So welcome back to the channel. So we have officially done 12 months of doing YouTube videos. So I thought it'd be fun to go through what I've actually played throughout the year. Hopefully you might be able to pick up something that you like, or encourage you to actually play. Or it might be even a thing where you want to go back on my channel, go through my playlist and kind of join the adventure, join the story of what we've actually played here on this channel. And I think it'd be great to look back in a couple of years and actually see how this channel grew. So I think the only way I could actually do this justice is creating a tiers list. So now we've actually got a few sections here. So we've got from an S tier, which is obviously going to be the best tier that I've actually played. So games that I would encourage people to buy. And the D tier, which is obviously for games that I would encourage either skipping or avoiding actually playing them solely because I either didn't enjoy it, the story wasn't too great, or there was things that I personally wouldn't recommend. So let's actually go with my first game. So the first game I actually ever played on this channel was Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now, the only way I can actually place this is on the S tier. And the reason why is because the story itself was incredible. The things that actually let it down, maybe that it was a little bit too long. I never actually finished it. And the reason why I never actually finished it was there was a little bit of lagging. I was playing it on the Steam Deck, so the Steam Deck couldn't handle it. But I've still got the game file. I'm still thinking that maybe I should go back and revisit this game. I'm actually currently looking at maybe buying the Steam machine when it comes out. So I think maybe when the Steam machine comes out, I'm probably going to reintroduce lives here on this channel. So yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is going to be something that I kind of want to play. So I encourage people to play it. You know, either look at my walkthrough. I think I've uploaded about 4 or 5 hours of it, but I'm actually looking forward to continue it in the future. I mean, in my opinion, for 2025, it should have been Game of the Year. You know, it comes a second or third nomination, but for me in my playthrough, yeah, I can't recommend it enough. The next one that I'm actually going to introduce was Outlast. Now, it's a game that people wanted me to play, encouraged me to play. It's part of, you know, when you actually look at horror games, you know, that are circling that people try and encourage. Outlast is always something that always gets introduced. So I think I'm going to put Outlast in tier two and sorry, tier A. The reason why graphically, it's an older game, so it's something that I think a lot of people struggle to play. But the fact that you have a cam and you walk around an asylum and you have to search for batteries and it is terrifying game. Um, if you're not brave enough to play it, then maybe watch it on my channel. I actually didn't introduce a face cam at that time, so it is just a standard um, kind of simple walkthrough. So you won't be seeing my reactions, thank God. But again, it's another game that I kind of hopefully want to introduce further down the line. Now, for its DLC, Whistleblower, I think I'm going to put it in B. And I think the reason why I'm going to put it in B is because it is a DLC. So it's always going to be shorter than the original. I think the Outlast Whistleblower was probably about 3 or 4 hours long. I could be wrong, but you cannot put it in front of the original, which actually now brought me to Outlast 2, which you know what, I'm going to be putting it in A tier again. It was better than 1 solely because graphically it was better, but the location, I think I preferred 1. I think I preferred being in an asylum rather than, you know, searching for my wife after the plane crash. But nevertheless, you are getting chased constant. You are on edge for hours. And I think it would be probably fun to actually play it as a live stream, you know, maybe in the distant future. Maybe I'll upgrade my setup and we'll go back to playing Outlast. But A tier, I believe it falls into A tier. So the next game that I actually played was Tell Me Why. It was a story game. It kind of reminded me of Life is Strange and that sort of thing. Um, but the story was second to none. I mean, it was phenomenal. It's something that, you know, has brought me to this channel. It's made me want to play games solely because when the story grips me and yeah, I can't stop. I mean, what I thought was like funny when it actually come to playing the game was I actually originally got it as a demo. So it came in, I think it was either 3 or 4 chapters, and the demo was chapter one. Uh, it was just something that I was going to play on the channel, see how people kind of reacted, see how people liked it. I think it's probably like my second or third um, most popular video here on this channel, which is, it speaks volumes. But I was only going to play chapter one. And as soon as I played chapter one, the demo finished. And it finished on a cliffhanger. And it was one of them things where I was thinking, I want to know how this game finishes. So, with that in mind, for me, yes, I'm going to put it in S tier. It's not better than Kingdom Come, because Kingdom Come's obviously like just a triple A game. It's 30, 40 hours of gameplay. But tell me why, if someone's looking for a story game and they've maybe had enough of Life is Strange, then yeah, tell me why it's definitely up there. So the next game that I'm actually looking at was Rugrats. Now I wanted to play this solely for a nostalgia element towards this. Um, yeah, I mean, I played it on an emulator. It was great. Obviously, it's very, very short. Um, so do you know what? For that case, I'm probably going to put it as B. I mean, a lot of people probably would disagree with me, because they probably didn't play it as a kid, which is why maybe when I played it, it kind of clouded my judgment. But it is an only, I think, a 2 or 3 hour game, but it's really, really good. It's when you have to think how old this game is, and it was originally set on the PS1, you need to actually take that into effect. When you actually speak to a lot of people about nostalgia, they're either thinking of Pokemon, Rugrats, Crash Bandicoot, these sort of game titles, which kind of shaped what PlayStation is. Yes, it's rough around the edges. It's it needs. Well, if it actually had a remaster, I probably would play it. I mean, Crash Bandicoot had a remaster, and a lot of people, and Spyro, and people played it. So it'd be cool to see if they actually ever remaster it. I don't think they will, probably because it probably hasn't got the traction that it once did. But for me, yeah, B tier is great. That's where it belongs. So the next game that I actually played on the channel was The Simpsons, the game. I originally wanted to play Hit and Run, but I didn't have the best emulator at the time, so which is why I never played it. But a lot of people showed love in The Simpsons, the game, solely because one, it's better graphically, um, and it's got a story, which kind of made me want to play it. But the one thing that I actually really, really struggled with the game was it was my first Let's Play, kind of with a cam and that sort of thing, and it didn't kind of give me what the other games that I listed, like Tell Me Why, Outlast, Kingdom Come, it didn't make me want to carry on playing, which is probably maybe why maybe the game didn't do so well here on this channel. It's probably because people noticed that it was kind of a little bit of a ball ache to finish. It was great at the start, but I think the game went on for about 9 or 10 hours, so it was quite a long game. But after about 2, 3 hours, it just becomes really, really repetitive. So for that case, I'm probably going to put it as a C tier. Now, people are probably not going to agree with that. And I can probably understand why, because The Simpsons is such a great franchise and people love it. But for me, as a game, I'm going to play Hit and Run here on this channel. And I'm just interested just to see what people think compared to The Simpsons game. But where it's left, graphically, great. I'd encourage people to play it. It is a good game. If you kind of got a spare kind of couple of hours, play it. It's a bit of fun. But regarding would I recommend it? Probably not. Probably not. So the next game is Poppy's Playtime. Now we've only played chapter one. Now at this time of recording, there is 4 chapters, and Poppy Playtime number 5 is coming out. So I am tempted to continue with this series. Let me know your thoughts. Do you want me to continue? Do you want to see more of Poppy Playtime? I'm intrigued to see how the chapters evolve and how it improves. But I think maybe where I'm going to put it, I don't think it is as good as Outlast 1 and 2. So I think I am going to be putting it in B tier. Now, do I believe it's better than The Simpsons, 100%, but it's not better than Outlast 1 and 2 in my opinion. So I think, yeah, putting it in B, I think that's where I feel comfortable in putting it. So yes, check it out on the channel. It's a great game to watch, and I'm looking forward to playing Chapter 2. Now, Silent Hill 2, the remaster. This isn't the original, so it's the remaster version. So we played it here on the PS5. Now, story wise, it's one of them games where you do not know what is happening until the end. You know, and there's a lot of things that happen throughout the game. I won't spoil it, but there's a lot of things that happen throughout the game which you're thinking, what is actually happening? Um, you kind of feel a little bit lost in the story, but every time I finished a chapter, it made me want to play more, which, like Tell Me Why, it's a game that really pushed me. And yeah, it kind of built towards this channel and built the community. I love playing horror games. Um, if I'm going to put it anywhere, it's got to be S tier. And I think the reason why it's probably S tier is I actually just watched the film. And the film's great. You know, I give it like a 7 out of 10. Um, but after that, it made me think, yeah, do you know what? It's not even close to the game. And I think the reason why it's probably not close to the game, it's because the game done it so well. And it gave me Resident Evil vibes, as in you look at the map and it ticks off certain things and things to explore. So yeah, do you know what? I'm gonna put it as S. It's something that I would personally encourage people to play. It's a phenomenal game. So yeah, I believe it belongs in S. It's probably not better than Tell Me Why. It's a longer game graphically and the horror elements. Yes, it's probably better than Tell Me Why. But as a physical game, a story, yeah, it doesn't beat Tell Me Why for me personally. If you disagree, feel free, put it in the comments. But for me, yeah, Tell Me Why I think is a better game. Now, probably the worst game that I actually played all year was Pokemon Z to A. So for that case, I am putting it straight in D tier. Now, I've played other Pokemon games, such as kind of the Game Boys in the past, Pokemon Stadium, Snap, um, and even the current releases like Sword and Shield and that sort of thing. So I was really excited to play Pokemon Z and A. Now, interestingly, it was my first live video, but it's got to be probably the worst game that they've released. And I think maybe the reason why was the map was entirely small. It felt very rushed as a game, and I think people were aware by this. So I know the community didn't really think that highly of it. I know a lot of people slated it when it comes to kind of game design, and I love the idea that you're kind of in the wild and you're catching Pokemon how Pokemon should be caught by running around and throwing Pokeballs and catching them that way. But when it comes to replayability, I think I played like 2 or 3 hours of it and I didn't want to play anymore. And what was such a shame was I was really excited to play it. And it was my first live stream. I set it all up and I was eager to play it. But the issue that I had was it was like a graphic novel. I spent the first 2 hours of reading, and I'm not the strongest reader anyway, so it probably bored a lot of people in the first place. But for me, yeah, I'm leaving it as DT. I think a lot of people, it's probably the only thing in the comments that I'm probably scared about, where people are probably gonna go, no, do you know what? It belongs in a higher position. But for me, no, I'm not recommending it. It's the worst game I've played all year, definitely by far. So the next game that I actually played was Power Wash Simulator 2. Now I completed number one, and number one was great. So I was really excited to play number two. Now the issue that I actually had with number two was some of the levels. Some of the levels were so long that it was really, really hard to edit and go through. I mean, just to give you an example, it started off by playing 15, 20, 30 minute kind of missions and areas. And then I kind of left it when it got to about 2.5 hours. Now, maybe the problem was me. Maybe the fact that I didn't upgrade my character as much as what I should. But, I believe I did. Um, but I think maybe one of the things that I missed out was it's a co-op. So I think if you probably played it with someone else, then obviously it would have halved the time and it probably would have been a little bit more fun. But it showed me that I didn't enjoy it as much as one because I never finished it. I got probably halfway through here on this channel. It done very well for the channel, so that made me happy. But as a game, it didn't really push me, and it didn't make me want to continue and push it even further. So I think for that case, I'm probably going to push it to B, and I think maybe B is quite a good option to put it as. Um, I don't dislike the game. I think the game was a great game. If you probably have a cool like chill out evening when you want to play maybe an hour or 2 hours of gaming, and you want it to be kind of like a cozy, relaxing simulator, then yeah, definitely go with Power Washer 2. I probably would recommend 1 over 2, but two's not a bad game. It's just something that probably I didn't finish, and there's probably a reason why I didn't finish. So yeah, that's probably the case. Now, the next one was Still Wakes the Deep. Now, straight away, I'm no introduction on this game. It's going into S tier. And for me, the reason why graphically it's a stunning game, length, it's a perfect length. I think it goes on for about 6 hours, 7 hours. So for me, it's a perfect length. I cannot recommend this game enough. Story wise, yeah, it's second to none. You play as a character called Kaz. You are on an oil rig, and basically the oil rig drills into this anomaly, and it starts to invade the oil rig. And I won't ruin it because you bond with the crew so much that I feel like part of the crew helps you progress this story because you are so attached to certain individuals, and of course you're attached to Kaz. I think it's probably the only game that I actually cried here on this channel where it hit me so emotionally that yeah, it just pulled me straight into the narrative. So S tier, that's where it belongs. It's probably no, do you know what? I'm probably gonna say Silent Hill 2 was better. So maybe in the fourth position in S tier, that's where I would put it. And they actually released a DLC called The Siren's Rest, which we played straight after. It was during the kind of the holiday season. Um, Again, I'm not putting it better than Outlast, and I'm definitely not putting it in the S tier. So because it is a DLC, it is gonna go into the if I could just move it over. Okay, so I had a little bit of an issue when it comes to layout. So I think I'm going to be putting the Siren's Rest just above the Outlast Whistleblower DLC. The reason why, forget off that one, the reason why I think it's just because graphically it's better than the Whistleblower. Obviously, a different sort of time period. Siren's Rest is obviously newer, so it definitely belongs above the Whistleblower, graphically and story. So the Siren's Rest is basically a few years after the original for Still Wakes the Deep, and you go back to the oil rig. I won't ruin the original, but you go back to the oil rig to see what actually happened to it. So it's something that I personally would recommend for other people because it is a great DLC. I think it is quite expensive. I think it's about 15 or 18 pound for a DLC for just a 3 hour game. But that being said, it feels just like the original, which is why I have to recommend it. It's probably one of the best DLCs that I've physically played, and it's one of the reasons why if anyone plays the original, and how it ends, they'll straight away want to play the DLC version. So yeah, you have to play it. So it's gonna go above. I think for some reason the um I'm gonna put it there. Yeah, but you know what I mean. So it goes above Outlast Whistleblower, but for some reason it won't move it. So that's my last DLC. So the last game that I've actually played, and I think I just played it about 2 or 3 weeks ago, was the Blair Witch game. Now, this is an older game, so it came out, I believe, in 2019. I'm probably wrong, so it's a 7-year-old game. It came out on PS4, but once again, when you Google best horror games to actually play, the Blair Witch for a story and an overall horror experience, Blair Witch is up there with Outlast and them sort of them sort of games. Now, do I think it was? It's a hard one, and I think the reason why it's so hard is I think when you really look forward to playing a game and you've already set a standard, when you look at people's reviews, it did have a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people said it was great, and part of me just thinks, are they being a little bit biased because they enjoyed the film? And then the other side of it is a lot of people are saying it's very repetitive, it's long-winded. I didn't really feel like it was long-winded, but the thing that let me down was it's a story game or a story-driven game, but it didn't make me want to continue. It didn't want me to find out why. Every video, every upload that I done, I finished on a cliffhanger, and when I actually put the game down, it took me 2 or 3 days to come back to continue to play, which is very, very rare, especially when you look at games like Tell Me Why and Silent Hill and these sort of, Still Wakes the Deep. These sort of games drove this channel. It made me want to continue playing. But the Blair Witch game, I just didn't get that feeling. So for that case, it can't go in A tier. It definitely can't. But because of the time period, I think I've been a little bit harsh on it because it's an older game. So it will go in B tier. It's definitely better than the Rugrats Power Wash and the Outlast DLC. So for me, yes, it's going to go in B tier solely because the game isn't, well, the story's not that strong, or it's least strong than what I thought it was going to be. But probably I'm being harsh on it because of the time period. So if we look back maybe 6 or 7 years ago, this probably was going to be an S tier game. But it's only now the reason why I'm looking at it and going, it doesn't fall into some of these AAA titles because they're newer releases. But nevertheless, the video's done really well on the channel. If it's a game that you don't want to play or you don't want to invest too much time in it, then look at my playthrough. I've done a breakdown of each episode, and it is an enjoyable game, but I can't put it as an A tier kind of game. So to wrap it up, here is my first year of being on YouTube through my playthroughs. So I'm hoping you agree. So for the S tier, yes, you got Kingdom Come, Tell Me Why, Silent Hill 2, and Still Wakes the Deep. All these games are super strong, solely because of the story, etc. Yeah, it's games that I personally would encourage people to either watch through my playthroughs or even play yourself, enjoy it yourself. When it comes to the A tier, then yeah, Outlast 1 and 2 and the Blair Witch. I think I'm putting these as A because they're not better than S tiers, but it's probably because of the period that they've been released. They are older games, so maybe I'm being a little bit unfair, but I'm going to be putting them in the A tier. When it comes to B, these are going to be obviously the older games as well as some of the DLCs. So it's games that probably I enjoyed, but either they were too short or they were quite expensive for what they were. Probably Playtime's probably the exception, but it is an indie game, so I can't be putting it above some of the other games. C tier is going to be The Simpsons, probably because it just didn't encourage me wanting to play and continue. The whole playthrough is on this channel, but it's definitely not better than Hit and Run franchise, which I'm probably going to release here on this channel at a later date. D tier is going to be Pokemon. Reason why I only played a couple of hours of it solely because it is virtually a graphic novel and I didn't really enjoy the game itself, especially when I was really, really looking forward to the release. But here's my first year of YouTube. Thank you for supporting me. It's been a fun year to actually play games. I'm looking forward to going into year two. I'm kind of hoping to do this every year because it's a good little reflection on back of what we experienced. So, it's been a great year. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you for supporting this channel and pushing it through. And I'm hoping, yeah, it's going to continue further. So if you did like this list, please put some comments on, leave it a like. And if you don't like the list, then tell me the reasons why. Do I am I have I been a little bit too harsh on some of the games, or yeah, just getting your thoughts and opinions. So it's building a community. I know that this list isn't going to suit everyone, but yeah, hopefully it's been a good video. And if you've enjoyed it, feel free to leave it a like and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one.